Valiant Eagle Enterprises is the key points is that we're going to be an innovative place, we're going to be an affordable place, but we're going to be something that really offers the highest level of technology with the most creative people in around. I mean, one of the things that we're planning on doing that's really revolutionary is we're actually going to build a building that's going to it's going to be a live-work loft, and we're going to offer it to independent production companies who may not have enough money to buy an apartment or buy an office. Valiant Eagle Enterprises is a culmination of a bunch of people from the entertainment industry from different disciplines. Some people have been producers, some people have been directors and supervisors and technicians and engineers like me who have come together to really launch an incredible company that it's a multifaceted company, from production studios to theaters to a lot of esports and gaming stuff and many other enterprises that we're doing.
Well, one of the things that really surprised a lot of people is that you're part of the team that is acquiring Occidental Studios in Los Angeles. Tell me about that.
Yeah, well, Occidental Studios is the longest running studio in Los Angeles. It was started by Mary Pickford, and she actually lived on the property for most of her life. And after, she's not using it anymore, so they tore it down and built a soundstage where her house used to be. But she lived there for many years, and so this is the longest running thing. And they've been trying to diversify. The Occidental Studios has many properties throughout Los Angeles, Southern California, and they decided to diversify some of their holdings. And I've known about the property, and some of us got together and we said, let's make an offer on this. And we took this thing, and it's got 3 large sound stages plus another building about a block away, plus an office building and a bungalow building and lots of parking, and it's a really powerful and cool place to be.
Just the word lots of parking in L.A. is automatically a good thing.
Yeah.
But why did you decide to acquire it? What's the benefit to you?
Well, the benefit is that soundstages is one of the fastest and most lucrative businesses you can get into right now. If you look at what Universal built on their lot, they just built 9 soundstages. If you look at what Warner Brothers and Burbank Studios is doing, they just expanded another 20 studios altogether. Netflix is adding studios. So these soundstages are growing and growing and growing because productions are getting more and more, some of the bigger companies are out there needing more and more production space. There's more content generated I'm sure, Larry, you've been in this business a long time. You know how content is being created left and right here. So we wanted to create a place that is not necessarily just a soundstage, but is actually much, much bigger than that.
Which means?
So we're actually partnering with Sony Electronics. We're going to put their virtual wall system in there, their Venice cameras, their tracking system, create a whole VR system. We're working with other companies to create a whole AI system that allow us to create one-button AI systems that'll revolutionize how we do things. So instead of, people like you creating videos, we can have AI create videos. We can just have you be an AI bot and create. We'll put you out of work. No, but we're going to expand in how things are done, and we're going to expand how the industry works, and it's going to change the industry, and we're going to be at the forefront. So we're not just going to be a soundstage like most of these are. We're going to have the highest level technology in there, and we're going to do a lot of stuff with esports and pushing those boundaries even.
Well, I don't want to get put out of work, so be careful with that one-button AI part.
Okay.
But I like the idea of developing the studio, but so much work is being done outside the studio, and so much work is being done outside of L.A. How do you convince people to come back into your studios and do studio productions as opposed to location productions?
Well, a lot of it has to do with tax credits, and that's how productions are being done these days. And there's some revolutionary and powerful tax credits that are becoming more visible in California and Los Angeles. So we're going to help to utilize that. Plus, 80% of the studios exist in Los Angeles. This is where 80% of all the studios have their headquarters. So people think, we're going to go and, people shoot in Florida, people shoot in South Carolina, people shoot in Kentucky, but they're based here. And this is where the stars live, this is where everyone is. So this is where a lot of the productions are going to be done. So yeah, things get done all over the place, but those get done mostly for tax credits. You go to Kentucky because they have a 40% tax credit. You go to South Carolina because they have a 38% tax credit. And if you put $1 million in there, you get 38% of that back to you. That makes good money,
I can see why large productions want to come to a studio because they've got a ton of control and they can do exactly what they want and control it precisely. But it also requires large budgets to be able to do that. A lot of media creators want the power of a studio but don't necessarily have a ton of dollars behind them. Can they take advantage of what you're hoping to create at Occidental?
Yeah, so part of what we're doing is creating a podcaster's Disneyland. So we're taking one of the buildings that we have and converting it into a podcasting kind of playground. We're going to have virtual set systems. We're going to have psych walls. We're going to have practical set systems. We're going to have a lot of different opportunities for people to come in and create. And what we're looking for is podcasters who want to go a step above. You have podcasters who sit in their living room or in their bedroom and they have their iPhone and their or a little camera like an Osbot or Blackmagic camera, and they're just shooting stuff like that. But when you really want to make it commercial, when you really, that that people when they watch quality productions, they're more apt to return. If you shoot stuff and low quality stuff, yeah, you can be entertaining and that's net and get people to come. But if you shoot quality stuff, people will come back in more droves. So we want to create something where people can create an active show system where they can create daily, weekly shows where they can actually create something that is a business and not just a hobby.
What's your time frame on making all this happen?
So we're hoping to close pretty soon within the next couple of months, and actually start within 3 months to 4 months to start actually breaking ground and working on these systems. We're actually here at NAB meeting with many of the manufacturers like Evertz and Ross and Supermicro and HP and all these things to start looking at what we're going to put in there. Where we have meetings with Sony, and we have meetings with many other companies that I can't disclose. But it's we're out here with checkbooks, pulling out, ready to make deals.
You couldn't ask for something better for an engineer: a checkbook and an open studio to build something new. It's like a toy store.
Yeah, it is. It's like a canvas. I'm Rembrandt with a canvas. It's like.
10 years, no, make it 5 years. 5 years down the road, what would you like to see happening at the studios?
I would really like to see in 5 years for me to create other leaders to take my place, to build people from the schools that we work with and from other disciplines, bring people in from all these different things. I want to build someplace that can create something that I can step back and someone else can take my position. The object of any leader is to create more leaders. One thing that I remembered back in the day when we first were talking a long time ago, I asked you what was your goal in creating podcasting, and you said that's something that stuck with me. I wanted to share my influence, and that stuck with me for still this day. And that's what I want to do. I want to share my influence with others. I want to create leaders who can take my place. And then I can go off and be on a boat with my wife in the south of France.
I do not ever see you being on a boat quietly doing nothing in the south of France. It is not going to happen.
Okay.
Jeffrey, how would you summarize the key features, the key points you want people to remember about Valiant Eagle Enterprises?
The key points is that we're going to be an innovative place. We're going to be an affordable place, but we're going to be something that really offers the highest level of technology with the most creative people and around. I mean, one of the things that we're planning on doing that's really revolutionary is we're actually going to build a building that's going to be a live-work loft, and we're going to offer it to independent production companies who may not have enough money to buy an apartment or buy an office, and we're going to give them low income housing. And so we're trying to work with people to give them low income housing so they could, be on a lot and have a business and be a professional and build themselves so that they become, more professional, and then they can open up and spend lots of more money with us.
Jeffrey, I wish you all success. I hope it really works well.
Thank you, Larry.